Welcome to Women at Halftime podcast, but not just for women, for you men too. If you're at mid-career or the halftime of life, our inspirational topics are not only fun, but also meant to help you maximize and write your next chapter. Right here with me, Deborah Johnson. Well, hello, Deborah Johnson here with the Women at Halftime podcast, where we help those at mid-career, at the halftime of life, answer that question, what's next? Especially if you're after age 40, sometimes we start asking this question, is that all there is? What do we do next? So I like to approach some of those subjects and what to do next. Of course, I have my Hero Mountain Summit that is really helps you through that process. That's a 20-week program. And so I only launch that twice a year, but you will find out all of that on our newsletter, goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter. And you'll keep up with the latest articles as well, because with each one of these podcasts, I produce an article. And today, taking calculated risks. Oh, what a good one. This is a fun little subject I wanted to be able to approach. And we're going to kind of dive into that in a moment, just to make sure that, though, that you connect with me and that you look at some of our books, because I really put so much information in there that can help you through this stage of your life. And we become a little bit risk-averse, I think, the older we get, but hopefully some of the things that I say today will help you through this process. So here we go, taking calculated risks. Well, many people that are risk-averse are very cautious about taking calculated risks. But those calculated risks, they can bring so many benefits in many different areas of life. And the fear of making a change, exploring new relationships, or even overanalyzing of decisions, it can easily lead one to be like frozen with unmovable, fixed mindsets. Taking calculated risks, it involves careful consideration and analysis of potential outcomes. And it can include making up a pro and con chart, very simple, weighing the potential benefits against the possible risks and uncertainties of a decision. I went through this even when I was in college. And this process helps to make deliberate choices, though the danger is staying stuck in evaluation and indecision. And at some point, a decision needs to be made. And by taking calculated risks with data and other information, well, the likelihood of moving ahead to make a choice, it goes up. And there are many benefits we could cover regarding this in taking those calculated risks, but we're going to only approach 5 in this article. I'll give you some more resources if you look at the article, you will have more resources to go further. So number 1, taking calculated risk, it builds resilience. So risks often involve uncertainty and potential setback. By taking those calculated risks, well, we can learn to bounce back from failures, adapt to new situations, and develop resilience. It's not always fun, but well, you remember that song made famous, if you haven't, look it up, Kelly Clarkson in 2011. It says, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." It's so true in many ways. Resilience helps us adapt and adjust in the face of change and in the face of unexpected circumstances. Now, emotionally, resilience increases the capacity to manage and cope with feelings more effectively. And instead of being overwhelmed by negative emotions like fear, sadness, or frustration, developing resilience, it helps us face challenges with composure and clarity. A resilient mindset, it looks at the glass half full instead of half empty, and it focuses on solutions rather than dwelling on the problems. Not always easy. So let's move ahead. Taking calculated risks, it builds self-confidence. Successfully navigating through calculated risk, it builds self-confidence and the beliefs in one's own abilities, empowering us to tackle future challenges. Now, the acknowledgement of strengths and accomplishments, it allows us to tackle those obstacles with a sense of competence and assurance, right? When we know what we can do. And self-confidence is closely linked to resilience, as confident individuals tend to bounce back from those setbacks and failures with determination. Well, self-confidence influences self-image with an appreciation of oneself that includes both strengths and areas for growth without excessive self-criticism or unrealistic expectations. And as we look in the mirror, this positive self-perception, it fosters a sense of self-assurance, influencing our actions and decisions that affect us personally as well as professionally. Now, you may question that looking in the mirror about what you see, but really, when you are taking those calculated risks, you can be sure that whoever is looking back at you is developing that self-confidence and self-assuredness. So taking calculated risk enhances skills and knowledge. This is so true. Taking calculated risk often involves acquiring new skills and knowledge as we venture into those unfamiliar territories. To contribute to this is usually the quality of curiosity and open-minded. And we always say this is important for creativity. With a curious mindset, we are eager to explore new ideas, learn from different perspectives, and to pursue different learning opportunities. Now, even if we are afraid, this mindset provides the courage to overcome our fear. That's a good thing. A commitment to lifelong learning, it takes a calculated risk of spending the time and resources to pursue either formal education, workshops, self-study, or hands-on experience. It's a commitment. It requires intentional and focused study and practice, which takes time, energy, and resources. We don't always feel like buckling down with this type of focus. But even though the results may not be immediately obtained, continuous learning, it contributes to keeping the brain sharp and active for professional growth. And this becomes even more important as we gracefully age. So taking calculated risks, now it offers entrepreneurship and innovation. I love this one. Risk-taking is a fundamental aspect of entrepreneurship and innovation. I'm an entrepreneur. I know this well. By taking calculated risks, entrepreneurs can introduce new ideas, products, or services that disrupt existing markets and drive innovation. Now, this takes the ability to step back and think differently, to challenge the status quo of what everybody else is doing with novel products, services, or business models that address existing problems or emerging trends. Now, no matter how you feel about him, an entrepreneur who has taken on a great deal of risk is Elon Musk. I just read another, it wasn't his memoir, it was a book written about him. And he has faced bankruptcy, ridicule, and takeovers, but he seems to thrive on this type of risk that's fueled his entrepreneurial ventures, most of which that have ended up experiencing great success, but huge issues to go through. And sometimes we wonder if his risk is truly calculated, but there's no question that those risks have paid off for him in a huge way. He's had to take those to get where he is. The outcome of an entrepreneurial venture is not always comfortable and is rarely certain. Failure is a natural part of the creative process, but failure can be a great teacher in what to do differently next time. Are you hearing me here? Successful entrepreneurs and innovators must be adaptable and responsive to changes in the market, aware of consumer preferences and industry trends. That takes time. Analyzing data and feedback, it helps us with this process. It takes energy, too, to maintain a competitive edge in a rapid changing environment. So and here's another great one. Good for all of us. Taking calculated risk, it increases personal relationships and interactions. Taking those calculated emotional risks, in personal relationships can lead to deeper connections, trust, and intimacy. Being fully present with attentive listening allows us to understand other perspectives, feelings, and needs, and it makes them feel valued and understood, deepening the bond between us and them, fostering trust and open communication. And to cultivate meaningful relationship, it takes the willingness to be authentic and vulnerable with honesty. And this action usually encourages others to reciprocate. Not always, but usually. Supporting each other through life's ups and downs is a gift that we can give each other that is of great value. Sharing vulnerabilities and expressing emotions authentically can strengthen bonds with loved ones. For social situations, taking calculated risks, such as attending events, joining groups, or initiating conversations, it can expand one's social network and create new opportunities for friendship and collaboration. And there are different levels of relationship circles, and understanding those levels, it helps us understand the amount of time and energy to devote to each. And I've written about those relationship circles in my Women at Halftime book. It's a great chapter. Make sure that you check that out. Application. To apply all of this, it takes the mindset that it's okay to fail and try new things. And by doing so, we increase our chances of developing more resilience, self-confidence, skills and knowledge, creativity in entrepreneurship and innovation, and deepen personal relationships and interactions. Well, overall, I hope you find it's worthwhile to take those calculated risks because, you're worth it. And our relationships are worth it. There have been many times in our marriage, Greg and I have been married for now, how many years? I have to do the math, 43. It's been a lot of years. We are on together once a month. So make sure you check out the times we're together. It's great fun. But we've taken calculated risks in some of the things that we have communicated with each other. We don't want to hurl at each other, but we want to share how we feel. Those are not always easy decisions because we feel like, we might get slammed or put down. And the same thing happens with friendships. Same thing happens with work colleagues. We can get slammed or put down. But taking those calculated risks, and I look at Elon Musk and what he's done, and reading through all of the ventures that he's done, and he's invested so much money. We can think, that wasn't real smart, but it's paying off for him. Barely sometimes, but he's had to work at it too, works hard. Now, you may not agree with some of the lifestyle with some of these workaholics, but we have to decide how we want our life to look like. And sometimes that takes a calculated risk, not working so much, planning our schedule so we can spend more time in other areas. I've planned my schedule now, taking calculated risks so I can travel more with my husband, as well as do my business, love my business. So we are all at some sort of stage there where we can do that and make decisions for our life. And it does come back to our core values. And I've written about those core values in my Stop Circling book. Of the whole appendix you can see that chart on back. I just thought I was going to hold up a book here for you, but if you are watching the video, you will see the book, Stop Circling. The appendix is a whole chapter on core values, so very important. We talk about it in Hero Mountain Summit, and you do the work it takes to revisit your core values. And that affects really a lot of areas of your life. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Make sure, again, that you're on our newsletter, goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter. And you can also connect with me, Deborah Johnson speaker, DJ Works Music. I have a lot of music out as well, and a lot of sheet music and musicals, all sorts of things that are really fun. But you get a lot of that information too. It comes in on the newsletters and our podcast every week and articles. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll look forward to being with you again next time. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us. It is because of our wonderful listeners like you that we keep going strong week after week. We'd love it if you'd share and follow us to not miss a single show and even write a review. You can also find all of our articles, products, and links at womenathalftime.com.